Board. Okay. So I'm gonna start us off with a little bit of a story for when I competed in April. So it's like, okay, flying down to Texas, I can pack my massive wings in a suitcase so I don't have to drive the 24 hours there and back, thankfully. And I booked an Airbnb that was like a 5-minute walk from the venue. I was like, I don't want to stay in a hotel room because hotels are very limited in terms of what you have access to. I want to book an Airbnb that has a full kitchen and a fridge and ideally an air fryer. And I found a listing with that. And I was like, great. And then we show up, and in the kitchen, there is literally zero utensils to cook with. There's no pots, there's no pans. There's a couple of plastic forks and knives. There's a couple of paper plates, but nothing that you can put on a stovetop, nothing that you can put in an air fryer. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I panicked a little bit, but we had to go grocery shopping at Whole Foods because that was the closest restaurant or grocery store. So we go to Whole Foods and I stock up on my chicken. I brought my maple syrup with me because I was carbing up on chicken and maple syrup and like a little bit of pineapple, but I was keeping my core really tight. Found my chicken, and then we had to use literally just a glass Tupperware that I stuck directly onto just above the heat coils to air fry my chicken in. And then there was no dish soap either. So I had to like scrub with a paper towel or a napkin to clean it out for the next time. And it was not the greatest experience, but I made it work. Like there would have been people that walked in being like, oh, I can't use the kitchen, shit, excuses. But it's like, no, how do we make this work where I can still utilize the stuff? It just requires me to spend a little bit more money.
So they had an air fryer, but not soap or utensils or anything.
Yeah, and nothing metal, like nothing. Um, yeah, and then the cups, like we wanted to have coffee in the morning. Nope, just plastic cups. So I had to make tea where it was like you put the sink water on kind of hot and then you soak the
Yeah.
tea bag for longer, but it was cold tea instead of hot tea. Yeah, it was an experience that I will remember for the rest of my life for sure.
That sounds terrible, but funny at the same time.
Fill
Um,
me in. I know you have bookings for your trip. So what have you planned ahead of time so far?
so we did the Airbnb route, so we're not staying at the host hotel just because we want to have like everything, like the oven, everything like that. So hopefully they have all of that stuff. Um, and then I haven't looked at gyms just yet, but I know that there's going to be some in that area anyway. So, yeah, there will be gym. Actually, no, the Airbnb that we're staying at, because there's not really a ton of like actual spots in Vancouver that were like houses. I think this one's more of like a condo type of thing, but it showed that there was a gym in the condo. So I was like, okay, perfect. So that way I don't have to like commute, 20, 30 minutes to get to a gym. I can just go down to the lobby or the gym there, get whatever cardio done,
Yeah.
maybe my like last workouts or so. And then just kind of play by ear with, the food. Like I'm eating the same foods like every single day. So just hit up a grocery store, get everything that I need, and then go from there.
Yeah. That was the other thing with the same Airbnb. So it was in a condo complex, and I could tell just off of the vibes, it was like this condo should not be allowing Airbnbs, and this was a sneaky one. Like our instructions were like, yeah, there's a broken door in the parking garage that you have to go through to access the elevators because they didn't leave us a key fob. So I couldn't get into the gym. Like this whole listing was like kitchen, gym, just like you. I was like, that's great. And then I show up, I was like, kitchen is nothing. Gym, I don't have access to, so I had to like stand out there for a day waiting for someone to walk by to be like, "Hey, I forgot my key fob. Can you let me in?" And then the second day, we just ended up like taking an Uber to an actual gym that was like 20 minutes away, because we make it work no matter what. But I hope your Airbnb experience goes way better than mine.
Might have to break into the condo gym.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
also seen things like because I've been watching a lot of competition prep videos just because I've never actually been in prep like flying somewhere to compete.
Yeah.
And some like a lot of the girls will just like put their actual egg whites just in the microwave and cook them that way. And I kind of already do that. But like if that needs to happen, then that needs to happen. But
Yeah. When I was doing the road trip down to Florida, so 2023, when I had my massive wings, that was where we had to drive down. And I brought my air fryer with me. So I was like, everything's being cooked in the air fryer. We set off smoke alarms in like three of the five hotels that we were at because just like, I don't know, it went off and we ended up for one of them having to take the smoke alarm off of the roof and just like stick it outside of the room for the entire thing. Be like, we'll put that back before we leave. But
Yeah.
you do what you got to do when you need to be 100% on point. And that's what I want to kind of like preface before going into this talk is this is for the women that are looking to be locked in. And like, I want to continue to see progress, no excuses, either a competition prep or a photo shoot prep or a 60-day challenge. Like, these tips are awesome. Now, some of you might be like, well, that's too extreme for me. And what if I don't do this? And does that mean I'm failing? No. Like when I'm in my off season, like I am right now, if I'm going on vacation, I'm not going to track. I'm going to make decent decisions. I'm going to prioritize protein. Like the foundations are still there. But I'm the type of person as well where if I go away, I might not train. And I make that conscious decision because I am on 100% of the time when I'm in this environment. Sometimes taking a couple of days or even a week away from training allows your body to recover, allows your mind to recover. You miss the process and you come back and you're ready to hit it harder. So just like take all of this information as something that you may choose to apply. But this is just us speaking from experience as fitness professionals. Like Lindsay is an IFBB Bikini Pro. I am an FMG Fitness Pro. And when we travel in prep, these are the strategies that we use to stay 100% on point and be successful to achieve the goals that we have set out. Your goals can be entirely different, and that's totally okay.
I think I'm also going to video my entire prep at like when I'm going, so that way I can also have all of those like, tips and tricks
Awesome.
recorded. So,
Let me just pull up the beautiful PDF that will be shared with everyone. So if you're like, wait, I want to have access to this, we will be sharing it out for people. All
and
right,
some
Lindsay.
like flexibility stuff in it too, just for lifestyle too. So,
Yeah, I will let you take it away.
all right. So, I don't think I can scroll on this though, can
Nope. Let me know when you want scrolled.
I? Yeah, we'll just go to maybe the first page here. So this is kind of where I put together like, okay, the mindset prep. So decide the level of flexibility that you have. I know that we mentioned that we're kind of gearing this towards like, 100% on track. And as Lexi mentioned, how she, when she goes away on vacation, she loosely tracks. She's not 100% on, and that's the choice that she does make. And this is also like, if like I just had a client recently go away on vacation and we just kind of like I didn't even have her track. I was just like, okay, just choose meals that are kind of similar to what you would choose while when you're here. So like for breakfast, they always have like a breakfast bar type of thing, or you can get like the egg whites, I just strictly said stick with whole foods. Like if you want to indulge in like a dessert or have a beverage or something like that, just don't go all in and, have 10 of them in a day, like space it out and prioritize that. And it actually worked out very well for her. She actually ended up losing 3 pounds and actually looking better when she came back. But that was like, she wasn't stressing about tracking. She was still moving. She was working out, getting steps in, that kind of stuff. So you can still make progress while you're away, but just kind of setting those like expectations going in and adhering to those, right? So for the airport, so instead of sitting down for hours and not doing anything, maybe scrolling your phone, get some steps in because I think that's also a great kind of goal to have, especially if you like retain a lot of water when you're traveling and stuff like that. Getting your body moving is essential. Um, and my second point here, buy water right away. So the best way to reduce any of that water retention is to obviously stay hydrated and limit the high sodium content or the high sodium foods at the airports.
The
Uh,
other thing that you can do there is take your water bottle with you through security empty and then just fill it up on the other side.
Exactly. And then I also did include some links below too with like collapsible shaker cups or like meal prep stuff too. So
Cool.
um
When you get the PDF sent out to you, you can click on
yes,
them.
exactly. And then I've done this just for like road trips or anything like that. So I would bring like a bag of pre-cooked or not pre-cooked, like the dry oats.
Yep.
Just like I'll split them up into like little baggies. And then you can go to like a Starbucks or like a Tim Hortons and just ask for like a hot or like boiling water. And you can add that to your oats, throw in some protein powder, mix that up, and then you have your breakfast. So there's like a lot of little tricks that you can do. And then, like I said, avoid the high sodium deep fried foods before long flights to reduce any bloating.
Yep.
And then, so in-flight tips. So this is where like you can package your own snacks, meals for the flight. You'd have to maybe double check what you can bring. So Lexi, I don't know if you have any tips with this.
So I have had no trouble flying with things like beef jerky or like a turkey jerky or even a meal with chicken or something like that. Some people look and they're like, what is this? And like, oh, it's the meal that I'm going to have before I land. And a lot of people don't have issues. Like I have never had a meal taken away from me. I have never heard of anyone having a prepped meal taken away from them going through security. You just have to be aware of like the liquid content. So don't bring Greek yogurt through, but you can bring a meal with you.
Awesome. That's good to know. Um, and then with the limiting caffeine and obviously no alcohol for me, but that can also, I think, contribute to like water retention, that kind of stuff too. So, um, one thing, because I'm not too sure how long, I think my flight is around 5 to 8 hours. So if fasting needs to be implemented, I will do that. I am one person that I retain a lot of water actually when I travel, like my ankles swell up and all of that. Even if I go on long drives, I swell up. So I found that the best approach is to honestly fast. So maybe I'll have like a meal before going to the airport and then just hydrate and just make sure that I'm moving a lot. And then when I get there, have like another good meal. And then I'll most likely have to do cardio just to make sure that I'm sweating out any fluid that I'm retaining.
Yep. And drink so much water. Like, yes, the plane is going to add a little bit of puffiness. You can't really avoid that. But the amount of water that you drink, like if you are relying on the flight attendant to come by like twice in your flight and be like, do you want a tiny little glass of water? That is not going to be enough hydration. Like, I am the type of person that I bring my water bottle. I go through at least one of them before I board, and then I have at least two while I am flying. And that might be you going up to the people in the galley being like, hey, can you fill this up for me? Or when they're coming down, instead of having a cup, be like, can you fill up my water bottle, please? And they are always happy to do it.
And then maybe sit on the outside seat of the flight so you don't have to get up past people to go to the bathroom.
I am that annoying person being like,
Yeah.
hey, sorry. I want the window. So there's two people beside me normally where I'm like,
I know.
I don't care if I am a menace to you. I want to enjoy my flight experience.
Oh, great. Okay. And then below, I just kind of have like if you're staying, um, yeah, there you go. Within the US, you can typically take any of your food or carry on or your checked bag. And internationally, so this is where you can touch base, like you can contact whoever just to double check if you're afraid of getting food confiscated. But I mean, if all else fails, then you can do the fasting approach or like, um, have like nuts, seeds. Sometimes they have those, like get unsalted ones if they do have them in the airport.
And if
Or
the flight attendant is walking down being like, do you want pretzels? Do you want cookies? Just because they're free does not mean you have to say yes to them.
exactly. And then when you go to, let me just see here. So, okay, so this is basically what I'm doing is like once I get there, that's when we're gonna, probably take all of our stuff to our room, maybe Uber groceries. So I actually love Ubering groceries. because it just takes, a lot of time out of my day to go to the grocery store and like browse. And then I'm a person that likes to look at everything and look at the ingredients and, the prep things that we do.
Yep.
So if that's an option, just Uber them there and then you don't have to go out, especially if your flight is going to be like later on in the day and you're not going to arrive or you arrive when the grocery stores are closed. Like that's
And one of the beautiful things about grocery delivery, if you are in the States, is Amazon has grocery delivery. And you can order literally everything, cooked chicken, raw chicken, vegetables. The States is on an entirely different level where you don't have to go through a different app. You can just use your Amazon account.
that's amazing. I didn't know that. Okay, and then travel must-haves for prep. So obviously, number one, food scale, because you got to make sure that you're measuring everything to the gram. Collapsible containers or cutlery. So if Lexi, if you brought your cutlery with you, and then I have protein powder, so you can do like the packets, bars, jerky. There's resistance bands, bar kit. So there's a bar kit that I included in the page below, and it's kind of like a Pilates bar. So it actually like deconstructs into like a little um, something you could just fit in your luggage, but it has like the resistance bands on the sides, so you can do like squats and like whatever else you need, like deadlifts or something like that. Shaker bottle, water jug, your supplements, um, medication, spices, and then emergency carbs and fats. So rice cakes, instant oats, peanut butter sachets. So you can get those like little peanut butter or almond butter ones, and I love them. And they're like pre-packaged, so you don't really have to take a whole jar with you. You can just, eat it out of the little bag.
Yep. Those are good.
Yeah. And then electrolytes, ginger chews, or peppermint pills. So I actually really like, I forget what, I think it's the Nature's Way peppermint pills. And I find that they really help with any like digestion. And it's just another supplement that you can also include. And meal strategy on the go. So pre-freeze meals and travel with a cooler. So you could have like a little bag that you could just put like as I think it's as long as it's frozen, then it's fine, right? Like if it's liquid, you can't really you don't want to take that over. Um, stay in a place with kitchen access or at least a fridge and microwave, grocery run when you land, stick to a familiar food. So, especially on prep, you don't want to just, just because it's there, let's incorporate that into it. You want to stick to the same foods because that's what your stomach is used to digesting and you're not going to be bloated, those types of things. And then eating meals at normal intervals to avoid any of those cravings. So that's where I think a lot of you ladies know that if you don't eat all day, then you're most likely going to have a lot of those cravings later on in the day.
Yep.
And then I included this point too. So like if you are eating out, then the best way to stay on plan is ask for grilled protein, plain carbs, steamed veggies. Ask for no butter, no oil, no sauces. You can bring your own seasonings or dressings. This is more so like if you're going on like a road trip or you're driving somewhere, like you can take those things with you. And then track accurately. So bring that scale with you.
Now, again, this is for women who are 60-day challenge, photo shoot prep, competition prep, right? Like if you are lifestyle, we don't expect you to be like, hold on, I'm at a restaurant, let me whip out my food scale and make sure that I have 150 grams of whatever it is to put it into my fitness pal. Yeah, just emphasizing that again. Ooh, this is all your goodies.
Yes.
But let me zoom in a little bit more here.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't. I think I have to convert this to a different one with the links because I for some reason I could only click on one of the links and I wanted to be able to so everyone can just click on the photo and it brings them to the Amazon link. So this one is the bovine collagen peptides powder. So you can get a ton of different ones, but this one is, I guess, the only one that's really in those little packages on
Yeah.
Amazon. I'm trying to think of if you might have to go to like a different website and like order from them specifically. But this one was one, it's unflavored. You can add it to literally anything. I know some people they actually will cook their rice in it too. Like if you want to add some,
Clever.
some protein to your rice, you can just add the unflavored collagen and there you go.
You can also bring your protein powders with you. It's just your powders have to be in your checked bag if they are over a certain size. Ask Google, they'll know more, but you can travel with protein powders. It doesn't have to be individual packets. You can bring tubs as well. I have also been that questionable person with like Ziploc bags of like creatine and L-glutamine. It's like, ooh, white powder with no one has ever given me issues. So try not to stress too much about that.
And then Lexi, can you scroll all the way to the side here?
Whoop. All the way to the side. That
Yes,
side?
yes, yes. So there's like little travel containers. So these are like little baggies, and then it comes with like a little funnel. So you can actually like if you don't want to bring an entire tub, you can scoop a scoop of protein in those little baggies, and then it's like less that you have to bring.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty useful. And then
Roasted edamames. These are my favorite. I've been living off of these for the past week.
I actually love them. I used to get these all the time, and they're like the macros are so good, and they just kind of satisfy that like if you're craving like chips or something like that, it's like salty and high protein. So I like these ones.
Those were my travel snacks flying like in February when I was 8 weeks out. I flew to New York for New York Fashion Week, and literally for the 36 hours I was in New York, I ate turkey jerky and dried edamame beans. And that's all I ate. I didn't buy a single piece of food in New York. And my digestion was super happy throughout, and that was fine. And then same thing, like flying down to Texas for the show. Edamame was my snack on the plane. When I went to a theme park after my competition, edamame in my fanny pack, didn't have to buy anything at the theme park. Where do you get them from? Amazon. I will show you. Does this one open?
Yeah, that's the only one that opens.
Only one. Okay, I will pull that up after we are done scrolling through this, if we have time. But Amazon, just type in dried edamame or roasted edamame, and they will pop up. All right, next one. Three Farmers. Also so good.
Yeah, I like those ones too. So very similar. I think, are they similar macros?
Yeah. So you have fiber, you have protein. It is going to be kind of high in carbs, and then there's a little bit of fat, but very similar to the edamame, just in terms of structure. They have chickpeas, they have fava beans, they have lentils. So just make sure that you try these before you go to figure out, okay, do these work with my digestion, or are these something that potentially cause bloating? So, for example, I cannot have the Three Farmers lentils, but the chickpeas, fine, not a problem.
There's also the other ones that you can get at Superstore. I forget what they're called.
Good beans?
I think so. Good beans. I think they're those ones are pretty good macros too.
Jamie said, Go beans are on sale for Prime. Awesome. So if you are looking for edamames, they're on sale right now. I personally love the salt and vinegar Go beans. They are my favorite. I don't like any of the other flavors, but that's just because I don't like ranch or cheddar or spicy. Salt and vinegar has always been my favorite, and they are 10 on 10. Highly recommend. And kids love them too. If you're looking for a healthy snack for your kids, Go beans.
And then the mini RX bars. So these ones are like the smaller ones. So I know the other ones are, I think, a little bit higher in fats. So if you don't have a whole lot of fats to work with or something like that, the mini ones can tie you over. They're small too. You can put them in your carry-on.
Cool.
And then, so I think there's two brands that I actually like with the turkey jerky. So this one is the Jack Link's one, but there's another one that I think it's McSweeney's.
Hmm.
Are those the ones that you get, Lexi?
No, I lived off of the Kirkland one. They released
Oh,
Kirkland, like Costco specific turkey jerky was my favorite of all the jerkies I've ever tried, but I don't think it was popular enough and they discontinued it because I also took it off their website and I was like, I should have bought more. But yeah, turkey jerky is going to be leaner than your beef jerky. Keep in mind that jerky is also going to have carbohydrates because they add sugar to make it taste good.
yes. And these were like the little squeeze, the peanut butter squeeze package.
Yeah. There's also a brand called Noosh, I think. Very similar.
The like almond kind of shape ones,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the reusable utensil set that's comes with the little case, so you can take that with you, put it in your bag, and oh,
Yeah.
use.
After my Airbnb experience, I will get a set.
So this is the Pilates bar kit that I was talking about. So like if you're going somewhere and you know that you're not going to have any access to any gym, this kind of gives you just that added resistance. You can get a little bit more out of your workouts. Comes with, I think it comes with the resistance bands as well, but they have a ton of different things like spring bands, resistance bands, if you can fit that into your checked bag.
Cool. And then,
And then this is actually one of my favorites is like the bone broth. So if you have a very sensitive stomach, this actually helps soothe your stomach too. So there's a lot of benefits with the bone broth. Again, you can just get a cup of boiling water from Tim Hortons or something like that, throw that in there, and then you have just something that's, soothing for your stomach.
yeah. These are also really good travel aside. If you have been hit with a stomach bug, for example, or if you are feeling nauseous, bone broth is high in the amino acid glycine, which, as Lindsay named, it's super helpful for your digestion. So if you can't stomach things and if you can't eat solid food, just having these in your house as a like emergency go-to if something pops up, highly recommend. And I think they're like 10 grams of protein per as well.
Yeah. There's also the other brand. I can't remember what it's called, but it's at Superstore as well. They have like three different flavors. There's like original, there's like Thai coconut, and then something else. I can't remember what it was, but
Yeah.
um, in health food section. So there, I couldn't find any other ones on Amazon specifically, but you can get these like the protein powder for your coffee if you just obviously want to, keep your stomach or midsection tight. There's also like collagen-based ones that you can get. So if it whey bothers you, then this one's probably not the best one because I do think that this one's whey-based, or it may be um, vegan-based. And electrolytes. So obviously you can get a ton of different types of electrolytes. So I just included a generic one here.
Yeah. BioSteel, Element, any of those, just try not to lean into like the Gatorades and things that are blue and red because you don't need dyes in your body.
Yes.
Oh, we got more. Ooh, these are
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, a collapsible container. So I've done this before where like you're traveling and you like prep all your meals, but then you're like, okay, I need to get more stuff or like um because you can collapse them, it doesn't take up as much space. So like as soon as you're done eating it, like if you want to just carry one of the meals with you as you're going through the airport, but you don't have a lot of space to, put it anywhere, you can collapse it and then fits better. And a portable food scale. So that I know that they have like smaller ones. I have like a really tiny one that I've been able to fit in my purse like everywhere. This one folds outwards, so it's like it's more compact, but you can unfold it and then it's like a T shape and then you can just put like a plate or something on there. So it's a little bit smaller. And a collapsible shaker bottle.
Sweet. These are really good for camping if you want to be on point and not take up a lot of space. Now, this, when I was scrolling through when you sent it, I was like, I keep forgetting that ChatGPT exists. These are awesome tips.
This is actually, I love using this. It's so convenient, especially when like clients will send me like, hey, like I'm going out to this restaurant, like what's the best option? Or like how can I fit this into like we don't know what the macros are really, right? So at least it gives them an estimate of like what you're eating and it will compare it to like similar dishes and kind of just give you an outline to follow. So Lexi, I don't know if you want to pull up like ChatGPT and we can just do like a random one just to
I have ChatGPT on my phone, but not on my computer. But if you want to share your screen and take it over, you can.
because I did preload. Let me just see if I can do this.
I will have to stop my share, but you can take over.
Okay. Because I just did like a generic one. I did one based off of the keg. So let me just share this. Um, this one and share. Can you see that?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So, what I did was, what is the highest protein, healthiest item on this menu? So, it depends on like what you really want to obviously go for. You can just say, what is like, if you needed lower calories, what's the lowest calorie option? Or like, just whatever is tailored to whatever macros you have left. So then what I did was I just copied it and pasted the menu. So you just go to the menu, you find that link, and then I pasted it here. And then it will give you the options here. So um, I know that the keg has the info, I think, already on MyFitnessPal, so you can kind of cross-reference both of them just to see how it is. So steak option, so it will give you an estimate here. So obviously depending on the size, and then it just kind of goes into detail here. But usually what I do is, and I put this afterwards, I said, provide the full macronutrient breakdown of each of these meals. So what it does is it goes into, detail with them. So you can use that like quick add option in MyFitnessPal if if you have the premium version where you can just type in how many grams protein, fats, blah, blah, blah. And then my next thing was, okay, so if you choose a meal and you want to specify like the swaps and the changes that you're making, what I did was provide the macronutrient breakdown for the blackened chicken, omitting the mashed potatoes, replacing with extra veggies, modification, no butter or oils used in the dish. So then it will give you that kind of based off of that. But I find sometimes it is a little bit off. So if you know like kind of specifically like um what macros are in like, chicken or like the veggies and stuff like that. You can just kind of go based off that. And if you do need help with this, obviously just message your coach and be like, does this look accurate if I do this? And then we'll look into it for you. But yeah, it just essentially breaks it all down for you. And then yeah, I just thought that was an easier one, but you can do it with like any of the menus. And sometimes if you go to like specific ones that are like very niche or like very, small town or something like that, it may not be the most accurate, but at least it's something. It's better than nothing. There's also the option too. I'm not too sure if I haven't personally used this before, but if you go into MyFitnessPal, here, let me exit this. I don't know if any of you guys have tried this before, but if you go to log food and then you do the scan a meal option, where you can actually scan and take a photo of your meal, it will estimate what is in that meal. And I think you can just check off like what looks accurate. So
Hopefully it'll improve as more people add
yeah.
stuff in because that's how AI works. Is like you put stuff in at best guesses, you give it feedback, it learns and improves. But yeah, ChatGPT is just a super underrated tool. Like if you guys are looking for meal plans or meal concepts, literally just ask ChatGPT, this is what I have in my fridge. Come up with three different meals throughout the day that are high in protein, but like utilize the tool. I don't utilize it enough.
Yeah. Or like even if you have specific macros remaining, you can always just be like, okay, I have this and how can I fill these macros? Or like if you're craving a health like a dish of some sort, like provide a healthy alternative to this meal and it will just give you tons of options. So,
Just double check the macros for things because that is one thing that it's not great at yet.
yes, you have to like specific, at least it will give you like the ingredients and then you kind of adjust it based off of that. So, um, but yeah, so that I think we went through most
Step
of,
1 through 3. Step 4, include your message, compare options.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when it comes to training, so like I still need to do is still find the gym. Obviously, like there's that condo gym, but if I get locked out of that or not have access, I will have to double check and just make sure that there's a gym nearby. Resistance bands, just in case, hotel gym backup plan. And I also do know that, the host hotel will have a gym too, so I don't know if I'd be able to maybe sneak in there somehow, but morning workout. So this is an important one because I find that this is something that a lot of my clients also kind of realized as the day would progress is if you don't get your workout in the morning and get that over and done with, the rest of your day is going to be filled with activities or like other things coming up. And then maybe you're a little bit too tired because you sat in the sun too long and you don't want to do your workout. So first thing, maybe before breakfast, get your workout in, get it over and done with, and then enjoy the rest of the day.
Yep.
Cardio is not optional, especially when you're on vacation, because any type of water retention, like usually when you travel somewhere, a lot of the foods are going to be probably higher in sodium. If you're not drinking a lot of water, this is just a good way to get your body moving, sweat it out, and it's going to make you feel a lot better as well.
And if your coach has programmed doing 30 minutes of cardio or 40 minutes, it's not like, oh, well, I'm getting 20,000 steps in. The body is designed to walk. That is a different stimulus than actual cardio is.
Yes, exactly. Um, and then I have scheduled fasted cardio into your travel routine, which is kind of like you know, just go based off of that. I know I personally don't really love fasted cardio because I do not feel well, so I always like to have something in my stomach, but yeah. Get steps in at the airport, cities, hotel hallways, walk as much as you can, get those steps in, and split it up if you need, but hit your target.
Great tips. Does anyone have any questions? I'm just catching up here. This is fantastic. Love that. Yes, the Go Beans are on sale. Ooh, yes, we do have like 2 minutes or so until this kicks me out. So I will pull up some Amazon links. Um, Apologies if you can hear my dogs barking in the background. They're menaces. Okay, so Go Beans. These are Go Beans. They are 39% off right now. Amazing. Dill pickle, so mixed flavors. You can get like the variety box, ranch, nacho cheese, sriracha. But if you just type in dried edamame or roasted edamame, you will get a whole bunch of brands that pop up. You can also type in Three Farmers, as Lindsay had. So these are your like on the go snacks. You can have slightly bigger bags. You can type in jerky and see what pops up. You got the beef jerky. There's also mushroom jerky for those of you out there who are vegan and or vegetarian. Yeah, lots of options on Amazon, but if you're in Amazon in the States, you have way more options.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, if no one has any questions and it's saying less than a minute anyways, thank you for joining, Lindsay. All the best for your competition. We're all rooting you on and excited to hear about the application of all of these tips in your trip. And hopefully it doesn't go the way that Texas did for me.
Thanks, Lexi.
All right. Bye, ladies. Have a great night.